As always, don't forget to check the video description down below for the best prices on tools and parts in today's project. Today we got this 2010 Chevrolet Traverse. It's a 3.6 and I'm going to be replacing the alternator. Let's check it out. First couple things we'll do here, you're going to go ahead and take this. Oh, look at all the nasty dirt. And these two wires are going to be connected with a 13. You're going to remove those and that will make the red wire, the main big red wire going onto the alternator, inactive. I tested it too. I took a digital voltmeter and put it on the end and then grounded it, and that wire is no longer a live wire, which is good because if you'll pop a fuse or mess something up if that wire touches the ground when you take it off. Next we've got this guy right here, and the reservoir sits down in there like that. It's two 10s, it's a 10 there. We got a 10 there and a 10 there. And you'll take that out, wiggle it up out of your way, and then there'll be a hose connected right here. And that hose is this hose right here. And I didn't use any tools, I just pulled it off with my hand. Next, we got a 10 right here. We gotta take that off, so that'll be out of our way. And the next thing I did was I removed the wheel. And I will say I watched a video where he did not remove the wheel, and you probably don't have to, but I just think it's a little bit easier. But got 7/8 lug nuts on here, so took that off. And then we'll come right up under here, and you can see I've got this little tool here. It's a 1/2 inch, and you can put a 3/8 in there. I didn't even need to put a ratchet in there, but you can get this at a part store. Of course, check the video description down below. I'll leave a link for one. And then I was able to move the tensioner with just this without a ratchet. So do that, and then I just popped it off the crank pulley. And the next thing I did is I took a 13 and I went right down in here, and you can see it's just a stud, but I put it on here and zapped my stud off and 13, and then the wire will come off. And this is where if you did not disconnect your battery like I showed you earlier, then you'll probably throw sparks because there's a positive there and a negative there. So make sure you have that disconnected, and then this wire will just pop right off. As you can see, no sparks. So, and that's disconnected from right here. Also, make sure you disconnect the connector right here. Where'd I put that connector? Boom. Is right here. Boom. And this you just squeeze. This is one of the easiest squeeze and pulls I've done. Just squeeze, pops right out, no trouble. So now we're gonna come up under here, and you see I got my ratchet, and it's a 15, and we're gonna loosen this guy right here. Boom, lefty loosey. And we're gonna make sure we take this guy all the way out, because that pulley, the bolt for that is the through bolt. It's the bottom bolt on the alternator. And then we'll see what's next. One thing I did notice is it looks like I was about to run out of room, and you can get your tool caught between the bolt and the body of the car. So I did grab a 15 gear wrench, and I'm gonna use that to take that bolt all the way out. And when I was watching the other video, the guy said you have to take the alternator out with that bolt and the pulley in it. I guess the bolt won't clear, but you can still pull the alternator out and kind of get it out that way. So just keep that in mind when you're taking it out and putting it back in. It's going to have to go back in with that bolt and pulley already in it. So the next thing I'm going to do is, you got a nut there and a nut right there, and they're 15s. And in that video I watched, he said you also have to take the studs out, or it's a 7mm on the end of the stud. And this other video, he said you gotta take this hose off and the coolant hose. I'm gonna see if I could do it without removing those. You'll see here in a minute what's going on. All right, so here we are. I positioned the alternator down there, and I have my left hand right here, and that is where I pulled this out, and thankfully all these nice little attachments came out at the same time. That was great. You might, while it's still on, push that in. That might help it all stay together. And then of course if it all falls off, you can see how it all goes back on. And then I was able to twist it up through and pull it up like this, and I did not have to remove any of those hoses. That's great, just comes right up through there. So that is pretty much it, guys, and I can show you me pulling it out if you want to see that. I probably have to use 2 hands, but yeah, we'll just come right up through here. So the installation is going to be the reverse of that removal. And that concludes the project. If there's anything I notice going in with the installation to point out, I'll let you know. Thanks for watching.